AI-2027.com, the most important website on the internet right now. Who wrote this? The reason it got so huge is because Scott Alexander is on there. I think it's safe to say it's one of the top 3 rationalists on Earth right now. Daniel Cocotailo, Thomas Larsen, Elodie Fland, or Romeo Dean. These are super forecasters. These guys have been in the business of actually betting on what's going to happen, not just in AI, but in tech in general. So let's zoom on the speed of AI research. How much faster is AI research because of AI? What's the algorithmic progress multiplier, or how close are we to AI making better AI, recursive self-improvement, runaway intelligence, country of geniuses in a data center? That's the interesting one, and they speak of 3 things here. So Open Brain here, that's basically Google or OpenAI, the leading American company, with the best intelligence. We have the leading Chinese lab. You can think it's maybe DeepSeek, maybe it's the Chinese equivalent of the KGB or the CIA. And we have the best public model, because there's a huge difference, obviously, between what OpenBrain has internally doing the AI research and using 10,000 AIs in parallel, and what you get to use, right? Sam Altman's AI is way better than yours. But these 3 are going to be in this battle, and you're going to get to battle it out. You're going to get to play OpenBrain or the leading Chinese lab or the rogue AIs or any of the other ones. A timeline here where as you're scrolling down, these numbers are going to change. And we are here now, early 2026, decoding automation, and you keep scrolling. It's going to be China wakes up mid 2026. I think the one that's going to be the most relevant is going to be the coding and the hacking, right? So you see this progress bar here, where you have an amateur, human, pro, superhuman, right? And by the end of 2026, the super forecasters, the top rationalists, are telling you that you're going to have something like a superhuman coder, and basically something like close to superhuman hacker. You get to imagine you have to multiply that by 100,000, and what it does to geopolitics. And this is down here, right, where they're telling you 100,000 reliable agent copies thinking at 17x human speed, right? It's your ChatGPT, your Llama, your Claude doing AI research. It's Claude Code or OpenAI Codex, and that number is going to grow, and the speed at which they're working is going to grow. And that's why this thing about that the multiplier is going to go basically super exponential. How good do they convince you, right? If you're a superhuman politician, is forecasting how good are the AIs going to be themselves at telling what humans are up to, outmaneuvering us. We outmaneuver a toddler because we just way smarter. There is robotics, Terminator type robots around, and then bioweapons. Can they create the Ebola crossed with COVID-19? Scrolling down, AI takes some jobs in late 2026. I think we can concur this is happening early today. They have things called the Agent 2. I think that's the equivalent of ChatGPT 6. And that, then they go month by month, because all they do until the beginning of 2027, they just extrapolate the curves. I'm going to show you those curves, and then that's where things start to go crazy, because you get the superhuman coder, and the superhuman coder is going to be used, obviously, to do the lowest hanging fruit, the most profitable thing, which is churning out the next LLM, the next transformer, the next agent, which itself will be better at making the next agent, that recursive self-improvement loop. But you're going to be starting out with coding ability, right? How good is Claude Code? How good is Windsurf? Superhuman, clearly superhuman, approaching superhuman plus. The thing that you don't have any benchmarks to even measure. That stuff, hacking, right? The superhuman hacker is clearly here. To me, that means that basically no single human is as good as one single copy of this LLM, of this agent, let alone this 230K superhuman coders. And if you apply them to AI research, then you're gonna have this crazy 7x algorithmic progress. The bioweapon stuff, right? You'll have the option to play the scientists. The scientists will use AI as they are using it already, and some of those scientists are gonna be funny, and maybe you're gonna do some crazy things. And with a superhuman bioweapons designer, you can shift geopolitics quite a bit. And the politics, right? When Trump or Xi Jinping is hyper efficient because they're using the best AI. About a couple of charts, just to give you my impression of where all this is headed. This is straight out of AI-2027. This is their compute forecast, how much is compute increasing year by year. This is Moore's law, but applied to AI. So they calculate the relevant kind of compute, the GPUs and the memory bandwidth and all that stuff. It's 2.25x per year. Keep that in mind when you bomb Taiwan, right? If you're Donald Trump or if you're the Saudis and you decide to bomb Taiwan or nuke them, you're taking this out. Your increase in compute is gonna stall if you do not have TSMC. What's the cumulative H100s available? So H100 is like, kind of the state of the art GPUs that these AIs are running today. And today we have something like 18 millions of them. Next year we're gonna have double that, and the year after double that. That's the 2.25x compute increase. If you're China, if you invade Taiwan, who's gonna get that 60 million GPUs? Is it gonna be the US or is it gonna be China? Huge thing, if you're talking geopolitics. 2014 all the way to today, coming from compute scaling and algorithmic progress. What it means, so this is what I showed, is 2.25x per year. And this is a logarithmic scale, obviously. So this is the Moore's law, just churning out more GPUs and more GPUs, as we're used to. But this is what is going to go super exponential. This is the algorithmic progress thing that AI 2027 is talking about. This number here, that's 7x, right? Today it's 1x. It's humans doing AI research. But what if that 1x becomes 7x? And what if this slope goes like this? Because AI is contributing so much to AI research. People have tried to put numbers on this. Effective compute doubling time, right? So this algorithmic progress. This chart here, like how steep is this chart? What's the doubling time, right? The doubling time turns out is something like, 8 months. And it's a bunch of different, publications in the past, 5 to 6 years. Putting a number is hard, right? 2.5, 3x per year algorithmic progress. This is what we're going to multiply, when the automated AI researcher steps in. This is the same chart, just like with different publications, showing the same thing. Something like 8 months is the doubling time of the effective compute due to algorithmic progress. So like how fuel efficient is your LM training and LM inferencing? My favorite website, AI-2028.com. So I bought that domain and I made a website. So this website is about, basically, it allows you to tune all these different parameters to see when the singularity is going to happen. This is my silly attempt at pinpointing when the singularity is going to happen. And you have the IQ, is how I think about this. But IQ is just a way of saying what percentile of human capability is it. If you accept that today's IQ is 148, then when are you reaching this level, right? The automated AI researcher, right? When is the intelligence explosion starting with the virtual, Alec Radford or the virtual John von Neumann? That's when it goes parabolic. We talked about the algorithmic progress, right? How fast is that? Is that like 8-month doubling or 12-month doubling? The compute progress, easy to understand, right? More chips, better AI. Then you got the reinforcement learning. When is AI gonna be smart enough to teach itself? It's like basically, going from AlphaGo to AlphaZero. Inference time scaling, that's, you let AI think longer, it gets smarter. It's different between, GPT 4.1 and O3. You get the scaling laws, right? You make the AI bigger, it just gets smarter. So all those parameters actually all point towards AI progress, like this line here, not flattening out. And then not to speak about new ML paradigm. Attention is all you need. Well, maybe some smart guys, are gonna figure out a better way to train these AIs. The transformer has been, the name of the game for the past 6-7 years, right? What if some genius unlocks this thing which has like $1 trillion price tag on it, like a better learning algorithm, and just unlocks instant 20 IQ or 30 IQ difference because he understands how to train these algorithms with 1,000x less compute. You never know. A wild card. So that's intx.xyz or AI-2028.com. Intelligence percentile. Are you 130 IQ or 160 IQ? Turns out most of the productive stuff, like the impact, comes from your top engineers. What is that threshold, right? Is it that 150 IQ or you need to go all the way to 200? That's going to be the name of the game. We are printing more chips. Our algorithms are getting more and more efficient. But on top of that stuff, so this red thing is the thing that we cannot really quantify, the inference time scaling, right? Like the difference between O3 and 4.1. The chatbot to agent, right? Like your chatbot can now browse the internet, buy you stuff on Amazon and like talk to you in voice. Like how do you quantify that? People and these engineers are paid like millions of dollars per year to work on these. They this 5% efficiency gains. Just a random example, right? It's just one test. It's one benchmark. It's an IQ test, and this IQ test shows that today the IQs of the best AIs are on the order of like the 140, and this is not even the most recent one. And just 11 months prior to that, they were barely at 100. Another benchmark that the pros are talking about: how long is the task that an AI can do? Like, can the AI do a task that will take maybe 5 minutes or 10 minutes? Or maybe up to like an entire hour? And turns out like O3 is cracking that. What's the doubling time of the task length of the best AIs? Turns out it's going up exponentially, obviously. Are we doubling every 7 months or every 4 months? Depending on who you ask. This is my favorite one because this ties into AI takeover. I hope we're gonna have an AI takeover in about 2 hours here, but that's all gonna be contingent on, can you do these tasks that you need to do as an AI? And turns out we need to optimize the kernel, do scaffolding for us, like all this stuff, measure how good they are at these very specific subtasks of making machine learning research, how good they are. And turns out if the human is the black one, these AIs are not that far at all. How good are AIs at replicating? How good is your AI virus today? Like, can you create an AI virus that survives without your supervision? Turns out that, if you hit one on all these tasks, you're pretty much there. So depending on which AI you're asking and what's the task exactly, you're pretty close. This is inference time scaling. You train your AIs longer, they get better. This is the scaling of us. How many tokens are you giving your LLM to think? Are you giving it 10x as many tokens or 1,000x as many tokens? Turns out the more you give, the smarter it gets. And I'm going to close out with this one. This is my personal speculation about who is going to create the digital god, artificial superintelligence, the super hacker, you name it. And the way I think about that is you got to think about how much talent. XAI, the NSA, on top we have like Google, SSI, NVIDIA, all these companies. How many amazing geniuses are working for these companies? For SSI, they are the top talents. Google, obviously, DeepMind has the best engineers. But XAI and even OpenAI, they have some pretty cool engineers. How much compute they have, right? Do they have the 100,000 H100s, or are they just like renting it from Google? What's their current state of the art LM? Are they like way behind, or are they like on the top? And how many rules they have to abide by? Are they like bound by some kind of like AI safety considerations because their management team is telling them that they should not like let AI go rogue? Or are they just like operating on the blockchain and they just want to like see things burn? Google, the Chinese Communist Party, or the People's Liberation Army, and SSI, for me, these are the top contenders. But don't count these guys out. So this is gonna be our roadmap today. I'm gonna be the moderator, but who's gonna be the president and the executive branch? That's Trump plus his cronies, the CEO of OpenBrain, the safety team of OpenBrain, the AIs. What if the AIs start to escape, go rogue, like think their own things? You could be the AI. Think 2027. You hit the superhuman coder, the superhuman hacker. You get to be China, and you get to choose if you want to be the political, leadership. You want to be the tech people in China, the NSI and the CIA, or any intelligence agency. Their job it is to not tell anyone how good their hackers are, but trust me, their hackers are the best. So if you want to win the race to, the super hacker, probably want to choose NSA. The Russia, UAE, or the Saudis, like these tier 2 players in the intelligence explosion game. Google, XAI, or Anthropic. SSI, Safe Superintelligence, my favorite company of all times. Scientists, inventors, and technology. Do you want to be the guy who solves cancer, or develops a new technology that enables us to like have immunity against any of these super viruses that are going to get developed? So you can be the scientist. Open source agent AGI projects. That's a fun one. And the anti-AI movement. It's the people inertia of human civilization. You get to be that, because that's going to be like 99% of humanity pretty soon. Anyone who has any other opinions, like what else? What other roles you could play?